Hello everyone, I'm Bable Jonathan and this is the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinox Television live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital. Dwelling our top stories in this edition of the primetime news, we talk about the Social Democratic Front SDF political party, which has said leaving the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement CPDM political party to rig elections in the Anglophone parts of the country is not an option as a result of the prevailing unstable socio-political and security situation in those parts of the country, the northwest and the southwest regions. The Social Democratic Front has also decided to carry on with door-to-door campaigns in those parts of the country, as well as the CPDM political party. And also in this newscast, we'll take a look at the state of Maroua, far north regional capital, a few hours to the visit of head of state Paul Biya, who will be starting his campaign tour of the country in that part of Cameroon. Stay with us. We begin this newscast up north, precisely in the far north region of the Republic of Cameroon, a region hit by attacks from terrorists from the Nigerian terrorist sect Boko Haram, a region that will be receiving the head of state Paul Biya a few hours from now within the context of campaigns for the October 7, 2018 presidential election in Cameroon. What is the state of the town? Mimi Mefo has more.
Darkness in Domayo. Domayo is situated in the heart of Maroua, chief town of the far north region of Cameroon. This part of the town is without electricity, and even the Yaya Dairo Stadium, where the head of state is due to hold a mega rally Saturday, is in the dark. This Maroua resident says that it is inadmissible that the stadium baptized after the New Deal regime is in this condition. Maroua might not be ready to receive President Paul Biya even in 1 month, he says.
Le boulevard que le président Paul Biya a baptisé son boulevard du Renouveau n'est pas éclairé.
The roads are in bad state, filled with potholes and standing water. Military engineers are present to ensure that roads are accessible, but locals have put the lifespan of this project to question.
Maroua est la seule ville au monde dont on bouche les nids des éléphants avec la terre et la boue. On avait masqué ça avec la terre et Dieu merci, il a plu aujourd'hui.
To them, it is just a political move to prove government's failure to meet the social and economic needs of the people who have always renewed their confidence in the regime.
Ceci est dû, n'est-ce pas, à l'insécurité qui était très ambiante et au manque de moyens. Mais depuis quelques années, nous avons bénéficié, après le retour de la paix, d'un appui du gouvernement par rapport.
This view is not shared by all, as another local praised government policies and achievements over the years. The far north region is a strategic political setting in Cameroon, with the highest number of registered voters compared to other regions. Facts and figures from the elections governing body Elecam put the number of voters in the far north region at over 1 million.
While head of state President Paul Biya is still awaited on the campaign terrain, his officials, notably officials of the CPDM political party, as well as militants, have been canvassing for votes in view of maintaining him in power for a 7th mandate. Yesterday, thousands of young people stormed the May 20 Avenue in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, moving through some parts of the city, chanting support for the President of the Republic. For me, Armstrong Sander, report.
1 week after the official launch of campaigns ahead of the October 7 presidential election, supporters and sympathizers of incumbent President Paul Biya, candidates of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement CPDM party, have demonstrated his popularity. Coming from over 5 socio-professional groups, the outing turned into a support march for President Paul Biya. They came from associations like G35 Youth, Bike Riders, Petit Traders, Association of Market Traders commonly known as Bayam Selam in Cameroon, and a group of university students supporting President Paul Biya. Chanting pro-Biya slogans, the support march covered Rond-Point Camtel, May the 20th Boulevard, Monte Cinema Abia, Boulangerie Kalafatas, and the Yaoundé City Town Hall. Joining at various instances, a total of about 20,000 supporters of President Paul Biya rounded up at the esplanade of the Yaoundé City Hall. The sympathizers, as one man, forwarded a message to President Paul Biya through the Ministry of Territorial Administration. The content assuring President Paul Biya of 100% vote from them come October 7.
And the candidate of the main opposition political party in the Republic of Cameroon, the Social Democratic Front, O.C. Joshua, has been moving from one part of the country to the other, wooing potential voters and Cameroonians in general to cast their votes come 7th of October 2018 in favor of the Social Democratic Front. Today, officials of the party met at the Ntarikon Palace of National Chairman John Fundi in the Northwest Regional capital to unveil the party's campaign strategy in the crisis-stricken northwest and southwest regions of the country. And because of the prevailing socio-political and security atmosphere in those parts of the country, the SDF has equally decided, like the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, to carry out door-to-door campaigns in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. And a member of parliament of the Social Democratic Front, Honorable John Evaristos, told the press today in Bamenda that leaving the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM political party, to, I quote, rig elections in the two Anglophone regions is not an option. Listen to him.
Very clearly that when the SDF was launched and been in Parliament, and we of the Northwest, we have followed up the political evolution of things in this country. The context in which the electoral law was drawn was never drawn within the context of a war. And if there's ongoing war and people are struggling for survival, and people are being displaced, there are killings, looting, and the many things that are coming with this war, we don't expect the SDF to do things the normal way that they used to do them.
So you were involved in door-to-door campaign, as we learned?
Oh, definitely. We talk about door-to-door campaign, which we introduce in the political landscape of this country, and so on. So for now, when we see people moving with security officials, one individual with all the B elements and the security officers moving in town, we see the Prime Minister of the country going to hold meetings in halls, in hiding. We now can really see that there's something wrong in the Northwest. The political terrain is not conducive for elections or for campaigning.
So what is the SDF doing to change this?
The CPDM have brought us to where we are, and to me and the SDF, we think they're deliberate. They wanted to feed on this and rig the elections, and that's exactly what they're doing. Because I'm going to wonder where the Prime Minister himself will vote. I know that the Prime Minister is a registered voter in Oku.
That was Honorable John Evaristos, Member of Parliament of the Social Democratic Front and Northwest Regional President of the party, speaking there. And the National Chairman of the Social Democratic Front, John Fundi, told the press that the party is ready more than ever before to face the challenges. Listen to what he said.
The SDF, after the 92 boycott, took a position that we shall never boycott any other elections. And the reasons are that when we go in, we will be able to point out to the people where the rigging took place and what happened where and how. Without you going in, you'll not be able to know what they did. They'll come up with well-polished documentation to tell you how free, fair, transparent the elections were, which always is false. So we're going in so that when any of this happens, we'll point it out to the people.
So the SDF is just going in for formality's sake?
Not for formality, we are going in to win. But the conditionalities are those that we are having an uphill task, and I think that we are up to the task.
The national chairman of the Social Democratic Front, John Fundi, speaking there to Mbu Stella, correspondent in the Northwest region. And now we talk about Maurice Kamto of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party. Professor Maurice Kamto was in the North region of the country yesterday canvassing for votes. Details in the upcoming report. Cameroon's North Regional Capital, Garoua, receives and celebrates presidential candidate Maurice Kamto in pomp, pageantry, and fanfare. These militants, supporters, and sympathizers of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement (CRM) political party have converged on Carrefour Yelwa to listen to Maurice Kamto's vision of a new Cameroon.
La population non seulement a soif du changement.
The people are not only thirsty for change, but they are ready for it. They said they are ready to fight for something new in Cameroon from October 7.
Jusqu'au bout, ils vont se battre pour que quelque chose de nouveau arrive au Cameroun à partir du 7 octobre prochain.
In his win strategy, Maurice Kamto tells them what he and his government will do as soon as he enters the Unity Palace.
Mes priorités, dès que nous accédons aux fonctions.
As soon as we take over power, my priority will be to make potable water available for all Cameroonians, to supply electricity to practically all households, beginning with at least 80% of Cameroonians by the end of the first mandate. Roads have to be rehabilitated.
Il faut refaire les routes.
Maurice Kamto's next campaign rally is built for Sunday at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. Barrister Akere Muna, equally another presidential candidate running for the Popular Front for Development political party, was at start SICAM in the Douala 5 subdivision yesterday, equally urging Cameroonians to vote for him come October 7, 2018. And he told the militants, supporters and sympathizers of the Popular Front for Development political party that he is going to work for the country's effective development, and is also going to ensure that Cameroon is a law-abiding nation where human rights are respected. Now here's an extract of one of the supporters of Akere Muna. Take a listen.
Because Akere Muna is a man of dignity. One thing I know about Akere Muna is about the non-governmental organization which he created 20 years ago, about transparency to fight against corruption. And I believe he has worked with so many international organizations. He knows the constitution of the country. He knows so many things that concern our country. And I believe him as his father did, but I believe he's going to change the country.
Do you believe in what he proposed?
I believe so much because there are so many things that I know on his program, which I will just quote one about education sector. The education sector in Cameroon, I believe it is very, very poor. And him, like somebody who has studied out of the country, he knows what is good for the students of Cameroon, for the future of Cameroon.
It took over a year for over 100 victims of the September 2017 landslide in Fumban in the west region of the country to be compensated, and the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Tanganji, was in the Noon Division to provide humanitarian assistance to the people. Mimi Mefo reports that it was more of a political move.
On August 18th and September 17th, 2017, The Njitut neighborhood in Fumban, known division of the West region, was hit by landslide, which destroyed over 100 houses, rendering dozens homeless. The phone of Njitut, after assessing the devastating consequences of the incident, notified local authorities, but no assistance came from the government. Even a follow-up committee created by the Sultan of Bamun to monitor and evaluate the needs of the people died a natural death due to lack of finance. It is over 1 year after the landslide that the Minister of Territorial Administration is visiting Fumban to reach out to the scores of affected families of the 2017 disaster.
Je suis ici aujourd'hui une fois de plus pour vous apporter le réconfort du couple présidentiel à la suite du sinistre que vous avez connu.
Minister Paul Atanganji was dispatched by the head of state to comfort the people, he said.
I want to just assure the population that the head of state is aware of what is happening, and he has instructed the administration to do another evaluation to see what can be done properly. But the important message is that the victims have sent also a strong message to the head of state.
The visit of Minister Paul Atanganji came few hours to the start of electoral campaigns, and the gesture of the presidential couple was also a political engagement with the people who were told to vote for the CPDM candidate Paul Biya.
The message of thanks and political engagement that the head of state has done his part. They are going to do their own part on the 7th of October. That this message will be transmitted to the head of state this evening. And they have taken an oath and engaged the political engagement that they will vote for the head of state.
The close to 100 victims went home with mattresses, blankets and foodstuff. But a shelter has been a major challenge for them since the incident occurred.
Je crois qu'il y a un site qui a été identifié. Et puis on va voir.
The divisional officer for Fumban explains that a resettlement site will be constructed to harbor the affected families, but it remains unknown when the project would begin. Soil erosion is common in Njitut, where houses are constructed on steep-sided valleys.
That's it for the first part of this newscast. Coming up next is Talking Point. Thanks for joining us in Talking Points. We are receiving Dr. Emmanuel Songwe. He is a member of the Littoral Regional Bureau of the Cameroon National Citizens Movement political party and one of the communication officers of the party. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Great pleasure.
Your candidate, as far as the October 7, 2018 presidential election is concerned, Prophet Franklin Ntifona-Fani, has been going from one part of the country to the other, wooing voters. Today, he is in the west region of the country. How are the campaigns unfolding till now?
Okay, the campaign is moving very fine. You see what happened last day at Statsikam. We mobilized many people. And since we are moving region after region, the same movement are in action. And we strongly believe that in the 7th October, we will take the presidency of this nation.
You will take the presidency of this nation, but that requires some strength. So what is the strength of your candidate? What is the central message that he believes will pull people to vote for him on the 7th of October?
First of all, we have industrialization. We prepare for this nation. You know, we have many financial transactions we are doing in this nation, but we cannot have a very clearly how those transactions are making. But with digitalization, we can find clearly what happened in this nation. We know that the main problem of this nation is corruption, and we need to solve that problem of corruption through digitalization.
You want to digitalize public financial transactions. You want to digitalize education, and so on and so forth.
First of all, we want to digitalize financial transaction to eradicate corruption, and the money we will earn after all this clarification, we now develop other sector of the part of the nation.
Now, just to get it more clearly, how is the digitalization process going to function, and how is it going to help to curb corruption?
Okay. First of all, we will put all Cameroonian. We will help all Cameroonians to create a bank account, and through the bank account, we will be able to see financial movement. And when we are able to see financial movement, we can know how many quantities of money we have in our nation, and then through that we can clearly see what happened financially in the nation. I don't know if I better explained myself.
You'll be able to know what amount of money is leaving which bank account to which bank account out of the country and so on.
Yes.
Would that be easy to track all those transactions to prevent the what we've seen today in the country, billions, millions of francs CFA that are exported into foreign banks and so on?
Yes. You will be able to see clearly in the financial film of this nation. When you reach many towns, you see people building, how people are building, you don't know where money are coming from. With that digitalization, we will be able to see clearly where money are coming from, how money are moving around the nation. And when we are able to eradicate that corruption, now we will put on the field many things that will help the nation to move forward.
And the manifesto your candidate, Prophet Franklin Difon-Afanu, is equally presenting to Cameroonians contains what you intend to do if you take over power come the 7th of October 2018 as far as the political and the social life of the nation is concerned.
Yes.
What are some of the projects in this area?
For example, in structurization of the nation, we will reduce the number of ministers, because the number of ministers costs a lot in the pocket of this nation. We will also reduce the lifestyle of the government for us to make some economic we can inject to other sectors. For example, in the sector of wealth, we will inject money inside in such a way that somebody can come, for example, in hospital. They will, before asking him money, they will first of all take care of him, because life is very important.
Right. Now, in the area of education?
In the area of education, we will talk about professionalization. You see in our school and our university, people are just coming out. They are not able to produce. After coming out of school or university, they go to another school of training. We will cancel that kind, or we will reduce that way of doing things, and when we will start professionalize our university and our secondary school.
Now, talking about what is making news today, and it's been making news for more than 2 years today, the Anglophone crisis.
Yes.
How is your candidate planning to solve this problem if he's elected president?
When the candidate before will be president, first of all, he will go to those people and try to discuss with them, because those people who are dying are Cameroonian like us, and they are manipulated by certain people. We will go to them and we discuss with them, and we are sure that if they see the president of the nation coming in front of them to discuss with them, we are sure that we will find a way of peace in that region.
Looking at the prevailing atmosphere in those parts of the country, the northwest and the southwest regions, the CPDM and the SDF have adopted a door-to-door campaign strategy. What's the strategy that Franklin Difon and the Cameroon National Citizens Movement are planning to execute in those parts of the country as far as campaigns are concerned? Will he be going to the northwest?
Yes, we will go there.
The southwest?
Yes, we will go there. It is, like I said before, those people are Cameroonian, and we will go on. Those who will receive us will explain to us our project of society, the project of society we have. We will explain to them the vision, the new vision of the nation we have for them. We will go there. Very soon we will reach there.
how will you manage to move through with the insecurity, with the gunshots, with the confrontations between independence fighters and the army and so on?
We have our own strategy that I will not develop here, but very soon we will reach there.
So they should be expecting you.
Yes.
For now, up to now, your candidate, Prophet Franklin Difon, has been to one urban center, that is Douala, and for now he is going through the remote areas and so on. He is in Baham today. Yesterday he was in Bana and so on. Why the choice of these areas, these local and remote areas?
Okay, we chose those areas according to our own strategies and our own plan. First of all, we start by sensibilization in Great North, and on Monday we will go back there again.
Okay, in the Grand North region, Far North, and
yes, of course. We go there. We'll go back there again on Monday. But what we need to be closer of our closer to the people. We need to be very closer to them, to explain to them that now it is time for change. It is time for us to understand that there is something that is happening in this nation, and we need their voice to make it truly be taking place.
Your candidate is a man of God.
Yes.
How is he planning to handle religious issues in the country?
We
have Muslims, we have Christians, we have even other religions that are...
First of all, by the grace of God, our country don't have a religion problem. All those religions live in peace together, and when we take the presidency, we just consolidate this peace amongst those religions. And it's not because our president belongs to a religion that he will make an promotion of that religion. No, we will live in peace, and we will live in very communication.
Build a society of tolerance.
Tolerance, yes, that is why I try to say.
All right. When you look at, last question before we go, when you look at the other candidates, O.C. Joshua, Maurice Kamto, Akere Muna, Cabral Libi, Espoir Matomba, and all the rest with the caliber that they represent, what makes you confident that your candidate is going to pull through?
Okay, we have a great weapon with us. That great weapon is God. And we are sure that with God, everything is possible.
Thanks so much, Dr. Emmanuel Songwe, for coming. You are a member of the Regional Bureau of the Cameroon National Citizens Movement for the Littoral region, and also one of the communication officers of the party.
Yes, sorry for my English. Cameroon is bilingual.
Cameroon is a bilingual country. Thanks for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this edition of the news. Thanks for staying with us. Goodbye.
Goodbye.